Hello and welcome to Weird Around Illinois. We're here to talk about Dogman again, and specifically, what attracts Dogman. Let's talk about it, and let's get weird. So, the first question you're probably asking yourself is, why would anyone want to attract Dogman? Well, in terms of wanting to attract them, I guess only lunatics like us who would like to see Dogman even from a distance, just to verify in our heads that he's real and he's the way people describe him and everything else. But there is other value to knowing what attracts Dogman, and that's not attracting him by accident, which is something that I think people can do sometimes. If you read some of the stories about really scary Dogman encounters, people are engaging in some of the behaviors that we think might attract Dogman. Now, in terms of specifically what attracts Dogman, a lot depends on what you believe Dogman is. If you think he's a flesh and blood creature, some sort of a human wolf dog hybrid, then there's one set of possible attractors. If you think he's a supernatural creature, something magical, that's something different as well. And if you think he's like an interdimensional being, well, then you've got a whole different set of things that might attract him.
Yeah. Here, we're going to lay out everything on the table, every possibility that we could think of.
Right.
And we could start with maybe just something a little bit more realistic, flesh and blood, something that is, like, I guess in the realm of just the food chain, if you will. We've heard of a lot of Dogman sightings where there's always some kind of dead carcass, some kind of meat involved. Like specifically deer or any kind of prey that might be smaller than what a Dogman or a bear, I guess.
And even some bigger stuff too, like cows or a moose in one case.
Oh yeah, and also a bunch of pigs. I forgot about that. You do hear about pigs and cows being literally gutted and like brutally torn apart to the bone.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. A lot of farmers have said that they don't know what else could have done that. And even if bears aren't in the area, it still happens. So it's just very weird there.
Yeah.
You could use that as a bait, sort of, if you put it in the similar scenario, very similar circumstances. You could absolutely, use a deer carcass or any kind of carcass that is meat, maybe track this Dogman.
One man claimed to do that up in Horicon Marsh. He had used he was basically setting a camera trap with a deer carcass, but he ended up missing the Dogman on camera, even though something took the deer carcass because a fog rolled in.
He just left the steak, didn't he? Or was it a full deer carcass?
No, it was a full deer carcass.
Oh, okay. Huh. I don't know, in my head I was imagining like the cartoon steak.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the Tom and Jerry looking thing with the big bone in the middle.
Yeah. Let's think of, I guess, the opposite or something a little bit farther. Maybe Dogman is an omnivore. I talked about that quite a bit, and Chiton Noir brought that up. What if Dogman is an omnivore and will eat, veggies, corn, just because it's the nearest food source, the most convenient? It's absolutely across Illinois and this whole Midwest area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why would he not?
Yeah, if you look at the Bray Road area in particular, and some of those areas in Michigan where Dogman's been sighted, just acres and acres of cornfields. So yeah. He could, if he's an omnivore and if he likes corn, he could eat forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it would also explain why Dogman doesn't show himself in winter very much.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not much of that around there.
And it also explains how people can live so close to Dogman without him killing them all the time. Because maybe he's full.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, I definitely think a good cornfield or a good, vegetable field or something like that could easily attract Dogman if he's an omnivore.
Yeah. All of these we could just use as bait. We could set up a whole trap. We could do a Mountain Monster style, giant, square trap. Where there's a piece of a big piece of corn and also meat.
Yeah.
With security camera showing which one Dogman will take, the veggies or the meat.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can borrow Willie sometime and
yeah,
set up a trap for us.
He's still out there.
Yeah.
Still in a few videos every once in a while.
He's not with the Sons of Appalachia though, right?
No.
He's got his own thing going?
Yeah, he's in some smaller group.
Okay. So in addition to the food bait, there was something else we talked about, right?
Oh yeah, calls and howls.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to do that quite a bit on our trips.
Yeah, now strangely enough, I had actually never heard of anyone doing that before we did. for Dogman. I mean, they do it for Bigfoot all the time, but it was just something that kind of came to mind the first time we went to Bray Road, and I kind of felt like we got a response that second time we did it. I mean, not a howling response, but something was moving pretty noticeably in that woods after I did that howl.
Yeah, I mean, you do a powerful one. It certainly will startle anything that maybe is smaller, maybe around the same size. My only theory as to why it may not work is maybe it's the structure of your mouth versus Dogman's mouth, and maybe a little bit different. And there are like such minor differentiations that Dogman could tell.
So he knows I'm a human faking it.
Maybe. That would be my only theory for that.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's why other people don't do howls. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's interesting as Dogman is sometimes described as like kind of looking human in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Bigfoot and Dogman are always kind of compared, and we know that Bigfoot could be a part of the evolution chain connected to us, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, Dogman, it's kind of hard to fit him into the evolutionary chain.
He's a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Yeah. When people like see their eyes, though, they describe it as like human-like sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, as I said, it's kind of hard to look at the theory of evolution, most people don't consider it a theory anymore, the fact of evolution. But most people, if Dogman does not fit into evolution, and if we accept he is an upright, walking, canine human hybrid of some sort, then we need to look for other explanations. And one of those explanations is, of course, supernatural. You're talking about werewolves or the Rougarou or Loup-garou or whatever. Skinwalker.
Yeah, and one area that they're seen around a lot is burial mounds.
Right.
We've talked about many times the possibility that they could be like possibly protecting them or guarding them.
Mm-hmm. So that there's an attractant for you right there for the supernatural ones. They're attracted to burial mounds and sometimes more modern cemeteries too, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Of course, then you get that crossover, and you're wondering, because some people call them the Hounds of Hell, and some people call them Dogmen, and are they seeing both? Are they seeing one? Are they seeing the other? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? And there's also rituals that people sometimes claim to do and make a Dogman spawn, basically.
They do the satanic rituals.
Yeah.
Or really anything in that relation, but it's a far theory.
Yeah, well, I mean, during the big satanic ritual scare of the 90s, Bussy Woods was one of those places where a lot of, supposed devil worshippers went out and performed their rituals. And I find it interesting that Bussy Woods is still a place to this day where people are reporting Dogman sightings.
Yeah. And I remember on one show, it was actually an older, like 2000s one of them, but it was just showing this one group of people who actually were in a cemetery doing some rituals, and a hellhound came along and just literally just chased them out of there.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
It might have been These Woods Are Haunted.
Was it? I remember it being much lower budget.
Oh yeah, maybe you're right.
I don't know. But yeah, if that's just assuming that maybe Dogman and hellhounds are related or similar.
Yeah. And those the rituals, when I think of those, I always think of the story from the Mothman of Chicago stories. And these weren't from the gentleman we interviewed. It was from his friend. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name all of a sudden. The one whose book I read.
Oh, Tobias?
Tobias Wayland. He wrote about these women who performed a ritual on the lakefront. And it was a ritual designed to, cross something over from the other side. And they really believe they brought the Mothman of Chicago through that ritual. And they believe they were responsible for it. And I wonder, if there are other people who've done similar rituals that might have, preceded Dogman sightings in various locations.
Who knows? And that also leads to the interdimensional possibility, where maybe they could be opening portals. Which in that case, maybe the rituals are opening the portal.
Good point. And that's kind of what they said their ritual was for. It was basically opening a portal to another world, which easily could have been another dimension.
Yep. Yeah, you really never know where they could be coming from, especially with like the fog that comes up at random points.
Mm-hmm.
People just see them come up and they're like, where did this come from? And then the Dogman comes out of the fog. It's scary, probably.
So I guess you could say opening a portal could attract a Dogman, either, from the other side, or if he's already on this side, he could be attracted to the portal because he uses them for travel. And then the mist or fog, I guess that begs the question, is that something Dogman uses to create a portal, or is that something that actually attracts Dogman because it is in itself a portal?
Don't know.
Or does it just attract Dogman because he likes moving in, total obscurity where people can't see him?
We've seen fog quite a few times in our hunts.
Yeah.
We never saw a Dogman, which is unfortunate, but...
Well, he could have been hidden in the fog.
Maybe.
Well, now, we talked about, the three major types of Dogman. He could be flesh and blood, he could be supernatural, he could be interdimensional. There's kind of a bonus type that I want to talk about, and this one really could be any one or any combination of those three, I think, and that is the military Dogman, the bio-experiment Dogman, or the mystical, magical experiment Dogman, where, as our listener Henry said, there's an army of these things that were put together or raised or trained or whatever by our military to be weapons. And he described them almost as like artillery type weapons, where you get your people out of the area and you call for Dogman and they drop in a squad of these things and they kill everything. So I guess if you wanted to attract that type of Dogman, you just need to make the government really angry at you.
Yeah. So how does one do that?
It doesn't seem too hard these days. It really doesn't. As a matter of fact, we've probably done it accidentally a few times. I'm kind of surprised we haven't met Dogman the hard way yet.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's not more Dogman sightings in Illinois, to be honest. Especially with all of the farms.
Yeah.
I guess maybe there are in southern Illinois.
Yeah, there are a few spots in southern Illinois that have Dogman sightings, and but you're right. It's not like a main Illinois cryptid like it is in Wisconsin and Michigan. When you think Dogman, you don't immediately think Illinois like you do those two other states.
Yeah, which is weird because there's a lot going on in Illinois.
Yeah,
in terms of conflict.
There is, yeah, and you've got military bases all over Illinois as well. But yeah, I mean, just looking at, the conflict between the federal government and the local government in Illinois, and particularly in Chicago this past year, I mean, if there were squads of Dogmen at the disposal of the federal government, I think a couple of people may have disappeared. And they did not, so I think I'm confident saying that either those Dogmen are not being used against American targets, or those Dogmen are not at the disposal of everyone in the federal government. Maybe they're only at the disposal of particular branches of the military or the intelligence operations or something, where they're employed for very, very specific things, and not even the president or the cabinet can order them in just as regular troops.
Perhaps.
Yeah. And now that I've spelled all that out, I have definitely put myself on the Dogman hit list.
Yep, Dogman's coming after you. You have 24 hours to live.
Yeah. Oh well. At least everybody will know what happened if I'm not on next week's podcast. So, with all that in mind, what do you guys think? What if our lives depended on finding a Dogman this week? What tactics would you use to attract him?
I'd use a bunch of animals, put them in a pile, and a bunch of veggies and corn.
Okay.
I think that could attract a supposed normal Dogman or a supernatural Dogman, because maybe they'll just use portals to go in there and take it and then go away.
All right.
I think what I would do actually is not even try to do anything. I would just walk in the woods like normal and see if Dogman comes up thinking I'm an easy target.
You are the bait.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that as a possible attractant, but you're right. I mean, just wandering alone into the woods makes you a pretty juicy target for Dogman.
Yeah.
And another thing we've discussed in the past that might make people, or might attract a Dogman, is someone in a particular kind of mood. Remember,
Oh, yeah.
we talked about people in severe depression going out into the woods, and that seemed to bring out Dogman, or people who are really angry going out into the woods, and that attracts Dogman.
Yeah, and then didn't they start like literally communicating with the Dogman?
Yeah, in one story they did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in a few stories they what was it called? Telekinesis?
Telepathic.
Telepathic, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they get like these messages like, you're already dead, or,
Yeah.
you know, don't bother to run. They're all pretty dark from what I've seen.
The government knows.
Yeah. Well, I think either one of those methods are probably valid. I would probably go the mystical route myself. I'd probably look up what ritual to perform. You know me, I'm always into the weird stuff,
Yeah.
the psychic, the magic, whatever I can try to pull off to lure him in. So maybe between the three of us, we could figure out a way to find Dogman the next time we're in the woods.
Yeah, if you're willing to go through with the satanic ritual, I mean, that's on you.
Yeah.
I'll spectate. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one more thing, maybe there's a frequency that can attract Dogman.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what frequency would do that, but
We sort of found that for Bigfoot. You know, there's the one that's really popular for Bigfoot.
yeah.
The Skinwalker Ranch frequency, let's say it's like 144 megahertz or something like that.
Sounds right.
Yeah, that one is supposed to be kind of a portal opening frequency. So maybe that's the one we would use to try to find Dogman.
Maybe.
Well, another thing to try.
Yep.
Well, if any of you have any secrets for attracting Dogman, we'd love to hear them. And as always, thank you for listening and thank you for subscribing.